Everyone and welcome back to my channel. Myself Dr. Subhisani. Hope you are doing great. Now today I'm gonna talk about the second lecture regarding the endodontics, and that too for the vital pulp therapy chapter. Right, so today we are going to talk about the most important part. As in my previous lecture we have talked about the properties of the pulp capping agent, and we talked about the three main pulp capping agents which are used now day to day in dentistry in clinics. Now today also I'm gonna talk about the one agent, that is the pulp capping agent, in detail, so that you know its property, its action, its phenomena, and easy to understand while you can use that in your clinics and in the different procedures of dentistry. If you are new on my channel, do subscribe my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. The importance of bell icon is that you can have the notification of my upcoming videos. Now back to the topic. Today we are going to talk about the calcium hydroxide, which is one of the most widely used pulp capping agent. Right? If we talk about the history of the calcium hydroxide, in 1920 Hermann decided to introduce one material named calcium hydroxide because of its one main feature, that it induced a barrier between the exposed pulp and the reparative dentine. Yes, basically the calcium hydroxide block the dentinal tubules and neutralizes the acid and the leached out products from the cements and the filling materials. So the most commonly used calcium hydroxide products nowadays are the Pulpodent paste, and second one is the Dicel. Now from this we need to know what is the mechanism of action of calcium hydroxide, right? Normally the calcium hydroxide do not become incorporated in the mineralized repair tissue of one reason, and that one reason is that they derive their minerals directly from the dental pulp, right? So that's why the calcium hydroxide more act as an inhibitor rather than acting as a substrate for the repair, right? Hard setting preparation of calcium hydroxide is recommended because of the fact that it does not release only the pure form of calcium ions, but along with that it also releases the fewer amount of hydroxyl ions which are gentle to the dental pulp, and from this we get to know about the mechanism of action of calcium hydroxide. As mechanism of action of calcium hydroxide include the calcium hydroxide, which releases two things. One is the calcium ions, second one is the hydroxyl ions. From the calcium ions, the three things are affected, which is termed as the mnemonic 3R. Now what is 3R? Calcium ion reduces the permeability of the membrane. Second, it reduces the serum flow or serum level. Third, it reduces the level of the inhibitory pyrophosphatase, right? On the other hand, the hydroxyl ions will neutralize the acid which is produced by osteoclast. Followed by there is the optimum pH for the pyrophosphatase activity, and that can lead to the increase in the level of the calcium ion dependent pyrophosphatase, and this can lead to the process of mineralization of dental pulp. Now let's talk about the healing done with calcium hydroxide, and that too with the high pH. It basically includes the four zones. First one is the zone of obliteration. Second one is the zone of coagulation necrosis. Third one is the zone of dentine bridge formation. Fourth one is the line of demarcation. So this is the four things which you need to understand and learn in case of how calcium hydroxide will do the healing procedure in the pulp vitality or pulp therapy, right? So in case of the first one, that is the zone of obliteration, right, which the pulp come in contact with the calcium hydroxide directly, and that result in the distorted, deranged because of the caustic effect of the drug. This zone consists of the debris, dentinal fragments, blood clot, blood pigments and so on. This zone of obliteration is the result of the chemical injury that results in the high level of the release of hydroxyl ions followed by the high pressure of the medicament application. Now let's come on to the second zone. Second zone is the zone of coagulation necrosis. Again, as a name suggests, there is some kind of necrosis take place and that will coagulate it at the apical area. So that is a layman term explanation, right? Which I have just told you right now under the category of the zone of coagulation necrosis. The zone of coagulation necrosis include the tissue that combine with the plasma protein and the zone of obliteration which result in the burnt of the calcium hydroxide chemical thrust. Weaker one move downwards subjacent to more apical areas and there they form the zone of necrosis, right? That is known as the Rodder's layer of firm necrosis and thinly mummifying zone. Now followed by that, the third zone is the zone of dentine bridge formation. This is the area of mineralization which is initiated by the calcium hydroxide. We talk about the difference between the normal formation of secondary dentine and the mineralization that is carried out by the calcium hydroxide. The main difference is that there is no distinct configuration present in the calcium ion initiated mineralization, right? And that forms the bridge known as the dentine bridge formation. About the range of this zone, that is the zone of dentine bridge formation. It is in the range from 0.3 to 0.7 mm. Last one is the line of demarcation. Line of demarcation is nothing. They basically think that the calcium hydroxide react with the protein of a tissue or the tissue protein and form the protein globules or proteinate globules, and it forms the proteinate globules. All about the second lecture of endodontics on the topic of calcium hydroxide. There is one NEET MDS related question, that is, in case of the zone of coagulation necrosis, what are the other names and what is that Stanley mummifying zone or the Rodder's firm necrosis, what is that? So a NEET MDS question can come on this topic or this line. So that's why this video is very important. If you still have any query, you can drop me the mail which is shown on your screen. Don't forget to ask me the notes regarding this topic. If you really want to, you can follow me on my Instagram ID which is shown on your screen. DM your question, DM for the notes, and you can have the notes in your hand, right? Thank you for watching.